Hey friends, tonight we're diving into chaos and cosmos, the origins of the Greek gods, for a peaceful night. But to make this an even more comfortable experience, snuggle up with a warm blanket, put on your comfiest clothes, or find a favorite spot to listen. If you have a topic you'd like us to explore in a future video, leave a comment below. Your ideas are much appreciated. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's make Hypnorium the biggest community for rest on YouTube. With that being said, let's begin. As you settle into the silence of the night, a story softly unfurls around you, like the pages of a well-worn book yearning to share its secrets. Imagine for a moment that you are not where you are, but somewhere else entirely, in an ancient grove perhaps, surrounded by whispering leaves and the distant hum of cicadas. The world as you know it now slips away gently, revealing a scene of continuity that dances on the edge of memory and myth. Picture yourself standing amidst the landscape of ancient Greece, a place not burdened by the trappings of modern life, but abundant in its simple beauty. Here the earthy scent of sun-warmed soil mingles with the crisp, tangy fragrance of ripe olives, slowly drifting from the groves that stand like silent guardians of a bygone era. The olive branches sway ever so slightly in the gentle evening breeze, their silvery leaves reflecting the fleeting light of the setting sun. In this tranquil setting, your thoughts drift naturally to the tales of old, where chaos danced before order, and where the whispers of creation murmured of beginnings so ancient that time itself could only smile knowingly at their echo. We find ourselves in a realm where the unborn cosmos lay undisturbed, until its newfound gods began to stretch and grow, curious to see what worlds they might create. Each breath of the story deepens with the awareness that you too are part of this eternal dance between chaos and cosmos. Mount Olympus rises majestically in the distance, its summit crowned with veils of clouds that seem to weave their patterns in harmony with the stars above. This hallowed mountain was the throne of the Greek gods, a place both tangible and dreamlike, much like memories from a half-forgotten dream. As the sun dips behind its silhouette, a soft glow illuminates the landscape in hues of amber and rose, as if the very mountain itself were alive, welcoming you to linger in its presence. This sacred place is more than just a home for divinity. It is the cradle from which stories spring forth, like the delicate petals of lotus flowers opening to dawn's first light. Each god, much like a carefully crafted character in this vast narrative, plays a part in transforming the cosmos into a tapestry of myths and morals, dreams and desires. At this moment, let your mind wander to think about how these deities, in their timelessness, shared a connection with the earth, much like the roots of the olive trees around you, anchoring centuries of history and tradition beneath their gnarled bark. Imagine them not as distant figures of legend, but as beings who, much like us, pondered the beauty and complexity of the world they sought to shape. It's comforting to realize that these myths served as both the backdrop and the fabric of daily life, weaving through the minds and spirits of those who lived in ancient Greece. For them, the gods were both the creators and participants of life, marking the cycles of nature and time with their divine stories and timeless presence. In those days, the horizon was a place of mystery and wonder, a moment where mortals, perhaps like you, pause to draw breath and reflect on the lessons of the universe painted across the sky. As dusk deepens into night, let your heart be lightened by the knowledge that you are indeed a part of this endless pathway, one where echoes of an ancient Greek world are whisked softly into your being, becoming reminders of a time and place where chaos was tamed into cosmos, and where, perhaps, you might find your own piece of peace. Before you drift further into the night, take a moment to feel the gentle pull of history wrapped tenderly around you. Like shared whispers in the quiet moments of evening, these tales of gods and heroes speak not only of past worlds, but also echo softly of humanity's eternal quest for understanding within the chaotic beauty of the cosmos. In this tender embrace of night and stories, let yourself relax deeper, breathing easier, secure in the warmth of the eternal saga spun effortlessly through the ages. Who knows? Perhaps as you lay, the warm tones of candlelight dancing along your eyelids, you too may catch a glimpse of Mount Olympus, barely visible in your dreams, promising tales yet untold, adventures yet to be written. In this peaceful transition between realms, may you find tranquility and solace, resting comfortably in the quiet confidence that chaos, no matter how daunting, always unveils the potential for a deeply ordered cosmos. As the light dimmed gently over the slopes of Mount Olympus, the myths of ancient Greece came alive with a golden hue that filled the air with mystery and a sense of the eternal. It's a world where the mundane and the divine mingle freely, much like clouds whispering across the mountain sky, ever-changing yet constantly present. Imagine standing upon the sacred ground where whispering winds carry tales as old as time itself. The gentle rustle of the olive leaves provides nature's soft harmonies, the unseen hands of gods playing an ancient melody. Let the hushed ambiance of this mythical land envelop you. Here the stories are woven into the fabric of everyday life, each thread imbued with significance, light and tender as the spun wool that rocks around the shoulders of a weary traveler seeking rest. In this world, the aromas of thyme and wild oregano mingle with the crisp mountain air as the day's warmth surrenders to the cool embrace of evening. There, by the flickering light of an oil lamp, the vaunted Olympians gaze down upon the human realm. It is a place where the miraculous meets the mundane, a reminder that even in the realm of gods, daily life's rhythms remain paramount. Beneath this canopy of stories, each god holds sway over their domain. Zeus with his thunderous presence, Athena's wise gaze, and Aphrodite's enchanting allure. Their lives, though filled with grandeur, echo the patterns of everyday existence. Each action, every decision, mirrors the quiet choices made when dusk cloaks the world in shadow and stillness becomes profound. The Greeks understood the importance of balance in every fabric of life, from the palace halls of kings to the simple courtyard gardens. Just as the gods orchestrated the cosmos, so too did the people of Greece learn to bend their wills to the seasons' dance, guided by insights that sprang from earthbound needs and cosmic whispers. As the soft melodies of this serene picture unfold, imagine yourself in a humble yet welcoming Greek household. Nestled within the bustle of a sun-drenched village, these homes form a gentle mosaic of human experience. The comforts are simple but heartfelt, a hearth that cracks warmly even as the last embers are fed with the fragrant wood of fig trees. The house breathes softly with life, the texture of linen napkins and terracotta underfoot grounded in the earthiness of everyday living. Through open windows, the scents of evening meals drift, with rich, savory notes playing gently on the senses. This is the essence of ancient domesticity, an image timeless and immediate, comforting like a warm hug shared after a long day's end. In such a setting, rather than the grandeur tales of heroism and divine battles, one might find solace in the smaller stories woven into everyday tasks. The kneading of bread, the weaving of wool, or the rhythmic weeding of a garden plot sing their praises, echoing the wisdom of Demeter, the goddess of the harvest. Her presence is felt more as a breath of fresh air, the swelling promise of bounty within each harvested grape. It's a curious yet calming sentiment. Within every chore lies the endless cycle of renewal. Every seed planted, a whisper of Persephone's descent and return, reminding you that even amidst the chaos of life, there is comfort in routine and solace in the known. The people back then had dreams and desires much like yours, a wish for health, a desire for peace, the eagerness to offer hospitality for those in need. Even the humblest of homes became a small utopia, a cosmos in chaos, spun from the stories of their lives. As you continue to listen, let each tale sink quietly into the twilight of your mind. The Greeks knew that while the gods may revel in celestial grandeur, the truest stories are grounded in the tactile world, the weave of a basket, the laughter shared over a simple meal, the balance struck between labor and rest. Let these images guide you to your own semblance of peace. And so, as your thoughts meander through the labyrinth of legends and reality, the comforting embrace of these narratives shall cradle you into a restful reverie. The myths of old resonate with your present experience, a gentle reminder that though eons apart, the heart's yearning for peace remains constant, as ever-present as the stars twinkling tonight over Olympus. With that in mind, you drift gracefully onward, not rushing, for there is time. Time to appreciate the continuity of countless evenings unfolding beneath the watchful eyes of gods and mortals alike. Time to acknowledge the serene tapestry that threads all of existence, binding chaos to cosmos, story to story, dream to dream. In every gentle rustle of olive leaves, there's a whisper of stories passed through time. As we meander through this ancient landscape together, allow yourself to feel the texture of the past beneath your feet, the cool, well-worn stones of pathways that countless souls tread before you, each with their own tales of wonder and woe. Imagine, if you will, the scene unfolding as the grandeur of the Grecian dusk begins to clothe the world. The air is fragrant with the subtle scent of thyme and rosemary, mingled with the salty breath of the nearby sea, beckoning you towards a world where gods danced across the heavens in a tapestry woven with stars and myths. In these early hours of a mythical night, stand still and listen. Hear the call of an ancient chorus, the collective murmurs of a civilization looking upward, searching for stories in the sky that hang like suspended lanterns. It's in this celestial backdrop that the origins of the Greek gods find their poetic beginnings, a time when the earth was chaotic and the skies held the secrets of the cosmos. As you breathe in the warmth of this evening air, take a moment to think about how these ancient people approached the concept of stress. Their lives, as deeply entwined with the natural rhythms as ours are with our phones and screens, demanded attentiveness to different sorts of tides. The struggles of gods and humans alike formed the backbone of these tales, mirroring both the chaos and the calm of life. In the cradle of these stories, we find Gaia, the Earth Mother, whose very name speaks to the grounding nature of life. Picture her as the nourishing earth itself, rich and unfathomably old, whispering promises of growth and shelter. She represents the bedrock of safety amid the flux of an ever-changing world. Close your eyes and envision the earth as a motherly presence, cradling you in her safe embrace, just as Gaia cradled the stars and gods unfolding above. But even amidst the care of Gaia, there existed a primeval darkness named chaos, more a rendition of potential than pandemonium, like a pleasant mess of scattered stars waiting to find their balance. It is from this vast, hushed void that creation unfurled, not with noise or fright, but with a gentle, organic emergence akin to watching seeds quietly break soil to meet the light. Let your mind wander through this garden of stories where the very essence of rest and refuge is found. The gods in their celestial realms mirrored human lives, but carried with them that enchanting veneer of omnipotence and imperfection. Their power was both a balm and a burden, a reminder that even deities knew the comfort of rest and the weight of responsibility. In this delicate balance, consider the daily lives of the ancient Greeks, their hopes tied to harvests, their fears whispered in darkened aisles. Imagine them looking skyward, yearning to understand their place in the universe through the lens of divine comedy and tragedy portrayed above.
Their stories remind us that not even gods are free from stress, yet within their myths emerge seeds of wisdom, wisdom that tells of balance and harmony, inviting us to see chaos as a birthplace of new beginnings rather than an end. Picture how beautiful must it have been for them to watch the gods toil and rest, act out dramas among the stars, and reflect their own lives like the dance of shadows beneath a leafy olive canopy. As these stories leap from star to shadow, let us turn to the hearth, the warmth of home, where simplicity and connections swell into gathered tales, like fabrics in the Mediterranean breeze, soft and sure. Vintage wine mingled with the sound of philosophical debates, or silent reflections, depending on the flow of time and tide that day. It's here, at this intersection of myth and hearth, that the tales are told, the common versus the cosmic meeting point, where myths were sewn into the daily rhythm. Imagine folks gathering at twilight, fires sparking against the chorus of crickets and the whisper of warm winds, a place where the stories you now cradle in your heart were first given breath, carried from one generation to the next in an endless dance. And as the gentle night draws its veil across this segment of sacred storytelling, let the soothing cadence of these myths and melodies carry you to the edge of sleep. Feel the gentle hug of history's embrace, reminding you softly that the constellations we gaze upon tonight once inspired awe and understanding in an ancient people deeply attuned to the ebb and flow of their universe. Imagine now, if you will, the vastness of the ancient Aegean Sea, its deep blue surface glistening under the attentive gaze of a setting sun. The sea itself a cradle for myths. Hushed whispers of forgotten legends dance upon its waves. In the distance, the rugged silhouette of a coastal village emerges, nestled between the rolling hills and the wide embrace of the ocean. This was a world where the boundaries between myth and reality blurred, and where divinity was woven into the very fabric of daily life. In this serene tableau, life flowed gently like the streams that wound their way from mountain springs to the expanse of sea. Over those hills, shepherds tended to their flocks, their mellow calls mingling with the rustle of leaves. the light fragrance of wild thyme carried on the breeze, mingling with the earthy scent of tilled soil. Here the common folk found their own quiet moments of joy and solace amid the divine presences said to inhabit their world. In these ancient days, the hearth served as the beating heart of the home. As twilight draped the land in a cozy blanket of dusk, families gathered round, their faces aglow with the soft flicker of a fire. Laughter and stories filled the air, the warm aroma of baking bread weaving through tales of gods and heroes. This fragrant bread, a simple round of flour and water, bore witness to countless stories, a sustenance as human and essential as the beliefs that shaped their lives. From these kitchen tales, young and old were knit into the larger tapestry of Olympus and its denizens. The ancient Greek pantheon was much more than divine figures in distant heavens. They were vibrant personalities, each with their own roles, emotions, and quirks. These gods mirrored human experiences, reflecting the beauty and chaos of life, much like the ebb and flow of seasons. Perhaps it was this divine mirroring that provided an escape, inviting mortals to delve into a world where grandeur and simplicity danced in perpetual harmony.
Here was Hera, the queenly protector of marriage and family, whose regal presence evoked both admiration and quiet fear. There was Apollo, radiant and golden, embodying music and healing, a gentle reminder of the sun's unwavering journey across the sky. These divine narratives, steeped in drama and orchestration, became threads connecting daily life to the cosmos. Yet, amidst these tales of divine antics and regal hierarchy, it was always the small sensory details, like the rough texture of unglazed clay in one's hands, or the pungent, savory aroma of garlic roasting in olive oil that anchored the imagination. Even the humble grains of sand between one's toes, or the rhythmic lap of water upon the shore, seemed imbued with a touch of the divine. Through these stories and sensations, ancient Greeks found reprieve, a soothing balm against the uncertainties and throes of existence. Just as they turned their faces upwards to the constellations, patterns of divine journeys across the starlit abyss, their daily lives remained firmly rooted in simplicity and community. At the heart of this balance lay an unspoken understanding. The world, in all its complexity, was interconnected. Gods and mortals, stars and stones, wind and water, each played a part. It was in this interweaving of life and legend that tranquility could be found, a gentle harmony that embraced both joy and sorrow, fear and hope. Therefore, as night blankets the ancient land and the gods retreat to their celestial abodes, let us too find peace in the wonders of their world. For in the darkness may we, like the ancients, find the light of understanding and comfort in the shared tales of chaos and cosmos. As you find yourself drifting along the shores of ancient Greece, the peaceful rhythm of the sea seems to whisper tales of old, tales of gods and mortals intertwined in a dance as eternal as the tides themselves. Here, in this sacred space, everyday life becomes a canvas for divine plays, a world where the ordinary meets the extraordinary with a gentle embrace. Imagine a scene now where a family sits together in the waning light of a Grecian day. The cool marble of their modest home provides solace from the sun's weary gaze. Each fragment of this setting tells its own story, from the woven textures of woolen rugs underfoot to the wholesome aroma rising from a pot of stew simmering over the hearth. This is a life lived in harmony with the elements, where simplicity guides the rhythm of their day just as much as the distant echoes of divine footsteps. In such a setting, you might find a mother weaving under the dappled shadows cast by grapevines. The loom keeps a gentle rhythm, akin to waves lapping against the distant cliffs. Her hands, deft and sure, create intricate patterns reminiscent of stories she was told as a child, tales of heroes and gods, each strand a whisper from the past. The air is fragrant with the scent of herbs and wildflowers gathered by her children, their laughter intertwining with the sounds of nature. Beside her, an olive oil lamp flickers to life as dusk approaches, casting elongated shadows that dance like storytellers across the room. These warm pools of light create islands of intimacy in the gathering dusk, drawing the family together in quiet conversation. The children's eyes sparkle with a curiosity as boundless as the sky, eager for tales of Olympus and its denizens, a world where gods walk among mortals, their whims and passions shaping the very fabric of reality. Now let us step outside, onto a modest balcony overlooking the olive groves that stretch towards the meandering coastline. The gentle rustle of silvery leaves is calming, and the scent of the sea mingles with the earthy aroma of the groves, creating a serene tapestry of sensory delights. Here the household's elder, a figure weathered and wise, sits with a peaceful gaze fixed on the horizon. Each wrinkle tells the story of a life intertwined with the land and its legends. He begins to speak, his voice a soothing murmur carried by the gentle breeze. The tales unfold effortlessly, stories of ancient deities and their timeless conflicts, of cosmic orders and the chaos from which they arose. The tales are like threads being gently spun into a vast tapestry, one whose beauty lies not just in its patterns, but in the threads that silently endure beneath the surface. These tales resonate like a lullaby, inviting you to think on their meanings, to let these tales wrap gently around your curiosity like a comforting shawl. How did the ancients see their world with such vivid vibrancy and mythic wonder? Perhaps it was through eyes attuned not just to the physical forms around them, but to the whisper of spirit dancing through the ordinary moments of their days. Pause for a moment with this thought. Imagine the soft, simple joy of daily tasks, like tending quietly to the olive trees that connect them to their world and each other, grounding them amidst the heaven's storied expanse. Here, amidst the olive trees and sea breezes, they found harmony. They found a way to balance the earth beneath their feet with the myths above their heads. And so, as dusk deepens into night, the storyteller's gentle voice bridges the realms of myth and mundane until only the sound of the waves keeps vigil. The family retires one by one to the gentle comfort of sleep, their dreams cradled gently by these stories of old. In this timeless tableau, picture yourself settled deeply in the warmth of this ancient night, a time and place soothed by lessons of old, lessons like waves shaping stones over endless eons. Here, where stars sprinkle the heavens like sparks spun from a divine forge, you might catch a glimpse of what the Greeks once called cosmos, an order that is never still, yet soothing in its constant cycle. Feel the balance this brings, the way the fabric of stories gently drapes over you with a reverent touch. It's easy in such moments to allow wonder to soften the edges of your day, to let the gentle awe of ancient gods soothe the modern noise away, like a balm of cedar and sea winds. As the last flickers of the lamp signal the deepening night, let the peaceful story of Greece's cosmic balance fill you with a sense of wonder, carry you softly toward that quiet realm where sleep reclaims its gentle hold over restless minds, where dreams are dreamed and myths forever told. Underneath a sky gently lightened by the birth of day, we find ourselves in an ancient Greek setting, where life moves at a languid pace, measured not by the tick of a clock, but by the rhythm of nature itself. Can you hear the soft rustle of olive leaves swayed by a mild breeze? Here, nestled amidst the rolling hills, is a small village alive with the scent of fresh bread from open-air ovens and the reassuring presence of domestic routines unfolding with tender familiarity. Imagine the textures, the smooth coolness of terracotta walls warmed by the first rays of the sun, the rough fabric of a tunic brushed by the morning air. Let us slip into the scene, allowing our senses to guide us. As you wander through the narrow, winding paths, you can almost feel the reassuring solid touch of stones painstakingly laid by hands long gone, but whose efforts still cradle the daily steps of a bustling community. This is a landscape where each stone, each tree has whispered stories carried from generation to generation. Imagine the lively chatter in a musical language as residents greet the day with the casual exchange of news and familial banter, filled with laughter that echoes off the nearby hills. Within this aura of peace, artisans begin their day. Under a protruding roof edge, a potter, serene and patient, cradles clay, the earth's own offering, molded with deliberate, mindful hands. Feel the cool, malleable clay as he shapes it, channeling dreams into form with each slow rotation of the wheel. The sound of pottery wheels, softly grinding, creates a meditative harmony with the village waking around it. It is the heartbeat of craft, a comforting consistency amidst the swirl of change that characterizes even the slowest of times. It is in such settings that the earliest narratives of order and chaos envision the realm beyond the sunlit agora, inviting gods to earth from the depths of imagination. These divine beings, born from the interplay of mortal desires, fears, and dreams, took on human qualities, yet were imbued with powers that stretched the boundaries of understanding. Consider the dogged determination of mortals, their resilience in the face of nature's unpredictable embrace, and how they weaved their own lives alongside the fates of deities who embody both chaos and cosmos. Imagine Demeter, goddess of the harvest, her presence palpable in the heaviness of the wheat fields, in the golden waves rippling under a gentle wind. She presides with the mother's watchful eye, filled with the care of someone who nourishes both body and soul. The luminosity of her presence, however, is often connected with Persephone, her daughter, the queen consigned to shadows for half the year, stirring thoughts of longing and renewal. Consider, if you will, the sensation of gazing across those undulating fields, of the sun's warmth kissing your skin, and the slight tickle of the earth's rich scent as you sink your fingers into the ground. The stories the earth keeps are ancient, yet they spring to life each season under Demeter's tender guidance. The tales passed through generations like seeds scattered in the wind, speak of how people looked past their immediate struggles to cast their eyes skyward, weaving their lives and the gods' whims into a single, intertwined narrative. In the soundscape of this world is textured with the bustle of the market, the clinking of amphoras filled with honeyed wine, an offering at the shrine of Dionysus, god of wine and divine ecstasy. Festivals to honor him were both respite and release, moments when villagers indulged in jubilant dance and song, their worries momentarily drowned in laughter and sweet melodies.
In these gatherings, the firmament between the human and divine dissolved in a symphony of shared joy and revelry, hinting at a regeneration and vitality that Dionysus promised in myth and merriment alike. Within these rituals, bonds of community found fertile ground, sowing kinship and unity in rhythms both ancient and yet vibrantly alive today. These echoes of the past now linger as ghostly portraits of resilience. Though these people faced storms, droughts, and uncertainty, they found comfort in the stories and celebrations that connected them to the eternal, assuring them that spring would always follow winter, that light would invariably emerge from shadow. As the sun traverses the sky and gently arcs downward, waters drawn from well springs glint like liquid silver under the fading light, reminding us of Hera, queen of the gods. Within her realm lie the sanctity of marriage and the solemnity of oaths, her formidable presence both formidable and nurturing. In Hera's guardianship, one can hear the serenity of a home filled with contented elders sharing stories, their voices rich with history, and the warm scent of olive oil and herbs simmering on a hearth. Imagine a simple shared meal of bread and cheese and the crisp hint of freshly picked greens, the warmth of resting by a fire, each moment woven into a tapestry of comfort and kinship. Even amongst the ordinary, reverence for Hera's enduring strength and grace underpinned family life, perpetuating a cycle of love and loyalty, cast and recast through the ages. As you take in these scenes, let your mind drift back to where it began, enfolded in mystery and wonder. The ancient Greeks wove their world from threads that linked gods and mortals, past and present, chaos and cosmos. To withdraw into these reveries is to feel them come alive once more, wrapped in the same comfortable quietude with which you now serenely stand on those same ancestral soils, in whispering echoes of lives ever changing yet ever enduring. As the sun dips beneath the horizon, the gentle hum of cicadas provides a soothing chorus to the warm evening air. Imagine yourself in ancient Greece, where the vestiges of day surrender slowly to the cool embrace of night. Here, amid whispering pines and the crumbling echoes of the past, the air tastes of salt and olive trees, a subtle reminder of both the land and sea's gifts to its people. Let us drift further into history's embrace, exploring how those who lived under the watchful gaze of the gods found balance between chaos and cosmos. Feel the texture of the worn stone paths beneath your feet, tracing the routes trodden by countless souls who came before, each step a gentle rhythm in the grand dance of daily life. The nourishing simplicity of bread and olives, perhaps paired with a splash of local wine, filled their evenings with a sense of grounded continuity. These staple foods, humble yet sustaining, were threads in the intricate tapestry of their existence. One can almost hear the soft crackle of a small fire, its light flickering like ancient stars, casting shadows that danced on the walls, just as the stories of the gods danced on the lips of the storytellers. The Greeks, ever resourceful and mindful of balance, treated health and wellness with a blend of reverence and practicality. It was thought that the body and soul needed harmony, much like the intertwined lives of gods and mortals. The crisp fragrance of fresh herbs like rosemary and thyme often mingled with the sweet scent of honey, used both as medicine and in the crafting of culinary delight. In times of rest, they would let the cool sea breeze carry away the day's worries, much like a gentle lullaby. Imagine evenings spent gathered around a communal hearth, where stories flowed as freely as the wine on a celebratory feast day. Often, these tales delved into the origins of the gods and their capricious ways, ever reminding the listeners that even divine beings were not free from the tangled web of fate and desires. It was a subtle lesson wrapped in narrative wonder, a reminder that even amid the chaos, there could be beauty and order. The Greeks had a unique way of embracing the chaos that life sometimes presents, finding symmetry in the simple acts of self-care. Bathing was not merely a routine for cleanliness, but an opportunity to commune with oneself, to cleanse more than just the body. One might imagine the smooth stones of the bathhouse, warm to the touch, and the cleansing steam that rose like soft, ethereal tendrils. Picture the scene, a mind unwinding like the coils of steam swirling upward, mixing with the comforting murmur of water. The hands would gently cup the liquid, letting it spill down over the skin, each droplet a tiny reminder of life's continuity and flow. The skin, warmed by this soothing ritual, would carry the fragrance of essential oils, extracted from the very earth that sustained them, a reflection of the divine bond between human and nature. In these moments, amidst the gentle play of light and shadow, the mind would tread pathways of thought as ancient and layered as the terrain itself, soothing, reflective, yet sparked with the hushed curiosity that fueled the nighttime storytelling. As night wrapped itself around the sleeping city, the Greeks, guided by the distant stars, found solace in the cosmic order that shaped their beliefs. The twinkling constellations, markers of myth, whispered the stories of gods and heroes across the tranquility of the darkened skies. Like a lullaby coaxing the soul to rest, these stars above echoed the eternal balance of chaos and cosmos. Just as the ancients harmonized their lives by honoring the divine, you too can find peace amid life's uncertainties. In simple moments, like the rhythmic massage of warm water over tired limbs, or the soft rustle of a summer breeze, lies the path to calm. These rituals and rhythms, so familiar in their simplicity, are but mirrors to the ancient wisdom, reminding us all of the harmony we seek with each dawn and dream. As the night deepens, hold on to these soothing thoughts, this gentle cadence of history's embrace. Allow the cosmos of your own rest to unfold, a reassuring reminder that amidst chaos there always lies a path toward peace. And as you drift into sleep, remember the cycles of the night, an endless dance beneath a starry sky, echoing the stories, the dreams, and the whispered hopes of those who walked the earth long ago. As the gentle lull of evening descended upon ancient Greece, families would gather around the hearth, their shared sanctuary of warmth and companionship. Tonight, like many others, is a quiet celebration of reprieve from the day's labors. The firelight flickers, dancing upon the familiar yet ever-changing backdrop of faces, lingering just long enough for one to catch glimpses of thoughts and dreams whispered upon the orange glow. Callista, a name meaning most beautiful in the honeyed tongue of Greece, sits cross-legged on the floor by her grandmother's side. Her hair captures the fire's light in strands of amber and ash, laid back like a river's gentle current. Tonight,
They recount stories as old and persistent as the polished stones underfoot. Her grandmother's voice, raspy yet soothing, like a sea breeze meeting the shore, weaves another chapter of the gods who rule their skies and hearts, comforting in their familiarity. "Tell me again," Callista requests softly, "of the beginning, when the world was still cradled in chaos." The grandmother nods, her eyes reflecting not just the firelight, but also the memories passed down through generations, memories older than her time or her mother's. "Ah, chaos," she begins, each word a gentle caress that comforts rather than alarms. "Before Gaia, before Tartarus and Eros, there was chaos, a yawning nothingness, both strange and inviting in its boundless potential." Here, in this tranquil setting, the story settles like a warm blanket, easing the mind into a soft reverie. The idea of chaos in its early stages seems far from the maelstrom we might expect. Think of it instead as a kind of quiet, enveloping the listener like a heavy quilt on a chilly night, the kind that provides comfort simply through its presence. Much like the fire's embrace, chaos was the beginning, a canvas that awaited Gaia, the earth that we walk upon, to give it form and texture. As the night deepens, Callista's grandmother reveals how from chaos came Gaia, the steadfast earth, rich and bountiful, grounding yet nurturing. Gaia, with her gentle hills and fertile valleys, stretches out before the mind's eye like the comforting curve of a mother's arm, creating a place where life could nestle in its many forms. Her presence is like that soothing voice in the back of one's thoughts, an eternal reminder of endurance and stability amidst the vast and unknowable. And then came Tartarus, not as a place of fear, but as the unseen depths beneath your feet, a part of Gaia, holding mysteries akin to the submerged parts of an iceberg, far larger and grander than the eye can see. Tartarus, while deep and foreboding, is a place where the seeds of dreams plant themselves, waiting to take root and emerge into the light. As the narrative flows, let's breathe deeply and imagine that tender moment when Eros, the embodiment of love and desire, emerged from this cosmic tapestry. He is not the forceful, bounding presence one might expect, but rather a subtle vibration, a soft hum which strings together the threads of existence with unseen, gentle hands. His is the quiet pull that brings the universe into harmonious accord, that life might flourish in its myriad forms, uniting the disparate into a cohesive whole. From this trinity of Gaia, Tartarus, and Eros came the Titans, and not far behind them the Olympians, who would take their place in the annals of legend. Yet tonight, there's no rush to recount their epic battles or lofty abodes. Instead, we rest in the foundational comfort of these origins, finding solace in their simplicity, and a chance to feel the weight of their peaceful gravitas. There is magic in these moments of stillness, as the stories take shape not in grand images of towering gods, but in the shared breath and gentle heartbeat of family. As Callista listens, her eyes grow heavy with dreams, her imagination buoyed by the lyrical rhythm of her grandmother's storytelling. The narrative fills the room like the fragrance of olive oil and cakes, both warm and soothing, enveloping all in an embrace of timeless ease. We sit a little longer, savoring the quiet gravity of the fire's warmth, feeling our way into the night as naturally as inches of shadow stretching under moonlight. There are mysteries yet to explore in this cosmos of gods and men, but for now we rest, here before the hearth,
under a sky watched over by deities as familiar as old friends, the night holds no terrors, only the promise of another day's dawn. And thus the story continues on, through whispers of stars and between breaths of the winds that travel over this ancient land. With the day's concerns left at the door, these nighttime tales weave a tapestry of serenity, calming the soul and inviting rest. Picture yourself here, in the gentle serenity of ancient Greece, where the air is tinged with a sweet herbal fragrance. It's the scent of wild thyme and flowering sage that weave their way through the air, as if echoing the whispers of long-gone shepherds and wandering nymphs. The landscape is softly undulating, much like a quiet ocean, except it is an ocean of greenery, punctuated by the occasional rugged outcrop of rock, standing as silent sentinels in the fading light. In this calm place, we find the story of how the ancient Greeks understood the very fabric of their world. Such myths were less like the stern tales from childhood, meant to instruct, and more like vibrant threads in a tapestry, threading together the known and the unknown. Imagine a world where the celestial bodies above had personalities and stories of their own, where each star might be a tale of glory or regret, hidden but glowing in the night sky. The Greek gods, with all their human-like flaws and sublime attributes, served as a vivid reflection of the people's perceptions of the universe's vast mysteries. These deities encapsulated the chaos and cosmos of life itself, capturing the eternal balancing act of the Greek psyche, a dance between order and disorder, safety and peril. Consider the god Zeus, ruler of the gods, whose voice was said to roar like thunder. But here, in the cool embrace of the night, imagine him less as a tempestuous force and more as a gentle giant in a peaceful slumber. The sky is his great canopy, dotted with stars that twinkle like the tiny flickers of a distant hearth on a cool night. You can almost hear the slow rhythm of his breathing in the ebbs and flows of the soft night wind. Known for his powerful presence, Zeus was nonetheless a god intimately tied to the order of the cosmos, often portrayed with a muted sense of responsibility, paired with a streak of unpredictability, much like a father figure whose presence is steadfast, yet whose mood can shift like the capricious weather. Then there is Poseidon, god of the sea, often perceived as tempestuous and mercurial. Here, as the scene unfolds before you, think of him as the gentle lap of waves against the shore, softened by distance and muffled by the night. In this nocturnal setting, Poseidon's waters are not wild and stormy, but instead resemble the peaceful waters found in a sheltered cove, a place where moonlit ripples give ancient rocks a silvery sheen. Imagine the soothing sound of waves, each one whispering age-old secrets, the sea's lullaby to the sleepy world. As you journey deeper into the heart of the night, let your thoughts wander to the grace of Athena, goddess of wisdom and warfare. The ancients believed she sprouted fully formed from the brow of Zeus, a symbol of strategic prowess born directly from the mind itself. Standing amid the ruins of an old temple, where moon-spun vines play hide-and-seek with the shadows, one can imagine Athena as a guardian spirit of serenity and intellect. Here, wisdom is not noisy or brash, but quietly contemplative, like a philosopher deeply engaged in thought as the world sleeps around them. Athena's presence brings a calm understanding, an insight that pierces through the night to gently illuminate the path of those who seek her counsel. In every rustle of the leaves and in the gentle murmur of distant water, there lies the legacy of Demeter, goddess of the harvest. Her story is woven with both immense joy and profound grief, akin to the dark soil that nourishes life yet conceals death beneath its blanket. In this serene tableau, you sense Demeter's quiet nurturing touch upon the land, providing sustenance and tranquility in equal measure. The night around you seems richer and more fertile, a living testament to her enduring, if often understated, presence. These gods and goddesses, much like the constant cycle of the sun and moon, represent the timeless concerns and aspirations of humanity. Yet standing here, amid the gentle sway of the night's dance, they offer more than a listen or a warning. They offer a kind of celestial companionship, transforming isolation into a shared cosmic experience. As we draw near to the close of this chapter, allow yourself to sink into the quiet strength of the ancient Greek cosmos. How these tales, steeped in myth and mystery, mimic the cycles of life itself, ever present, ever unfolding, endlessly patient. It is a comforting thought to hold as you drift deeper into the night's embrace. Here there is no rush, no hurry, only the slow, gentle unfurling of stories that act as your guide through both chaos and calm, through both the known and the vast expanse of the unknown worlds that await. In this moment, as you listen to the quiet symphony of the night, let these myths, these echoes of earlier times, accompany you into a peaceful night. May they cradle you as you dream and softly guide you through the tapestry of time, stitching ease and serenity into every corner of your rest. As you continue your journey through the mystical landscapes of ancient Greece, the canvas of your imagination begins to fill with the gentle hues of twilight over Mount Olympus. Here, under a sky where the stars begin to twinkle like scattered pearls, we delve deeper into the stories woven by time and the warmth of simpler lives. Imagine the horizon blending seamlessly into the lavender shadows of evening, interrupted only by the silhouette of this majestic mountain. It's a place where gods and myths intertwine with the natural world, a divine amphitheater painted by the hands of countless storytellers and the whispers of the wind. It stands in a rugged spine against the sky, where each peak and valley holds its own mysteries and 1,000 untold stories. The air is crisp and soothing, as if touched by the serene breath of the gods themselves. It whispers a melodic tale that captivates your senses, a tale of chaos giving birth to order, and the birth of gods as natural and rhythmic as the turning of the seasons. It's as if you can sense the heartbeat of the world slowing, bidding you to rest and listen. Close your eyes for a moment and let that comforting breeze carry you back through time, to an era when humans looked upward to Olympus, weaving tales as naturally as they would craft a loaf of bread or cast a net into the sea. You settle into the rhythm of their lives, feeling the earth beneath you and grounding you in their everyday experiences. Their daily routines flow like a gentle stream through the valleys of time. Each family in the shadow of Olympus might rise with the first rays of sun, greeted by the haunting call of a shepherd's horn. The scent of fresh herbs mingles with those of the morning fires, wafting through villages as people awaken slowly. It's a scent that tells of security and routine, as familiar as your home's kitchen when early light streams in. Imagine, if you will, how these ancient souls would greet the dawn, a pause before the clatter of daily chores begins. Children scamper in the dew-laden grass, while elders gather around, tending to stories as much as the tasks at hand. Life, with all its simplicity, hums with the songs of cicadas and crickets that playfully compete to lead nature's choir. In this quaint existence, stress and leisure blend into each other seamlessly. The concept of time moves differently, unhurried and soft, like the fabric of a beloved old robe. There is no rush, and the rhythm of the earth dictates the pace, a gentle reminder that even in chaos there is space to breathe and be. Now, in this peaceful ebb and flow, let us turn our attention to one particular inhabitant of this land, the mysterious figure of Dionysus. Known as the god of wine, revelry, and ecstatic jubilation, his role in these villagers' lives might come as a surprise. Despite the divine chaos he represents, Dionysus is also the god of relaxation, of wine shared among friends that smooth the stresses of the day into laughter and gentle storytelling. His presence, like a warm hearth flame, glows softly in the gathering dusk, inviting you to unwind. As you conjure this image, imagine a festival held in his honor, a simple gathering where neighbors share bowls of rich olives and sip wine under twinkling oil lamps. Laughter rises and spills like petals in the breeze, and the hum of leisurely conversations becomes cozily hypnotic. The evening unfolds lazily, blending seamlessly into the night, held together by nothing more than the gentle clasp of camaraderie. Let these faint echoes of mirth lead you gently further. Step back and view the world beyond this quiet village, one filled with kings and queens, soldiers and wise old philosophers, each dancing their own part in the grand tapestry of myth. You encounter tales that are rich like freshly tilled earth, absorbing lessons of humility and holding on to a firm yet tender grasp of fate. Take a moment to contemplate how these tales of gods and their whims interplay with a human life measured against the scale of eternity. In this gentle intersection, you might find that human concerns, whether trivial or grand, flow all together like rivulets into the wide, calm river of existence. As the celebration winds down with the grace of a falling leaf, you're gently nudged back to the rolling hills of reality. The villagers retreat with smiles curling on their lips, leaving you with memories as sweet as the final sip of wine. The tranquil hum of cicadas lulls you further, singing you back into the comforting arms of rest. And with this sound, as the darkness wraps warmly around you, you might remember that, like the villagers under Mount Olympus, you are cradled by endless stories and timeless stars. There is peace here in knowing that alongside the chaos of the world and its creation, there is always quietude waiting to be found. Thus, as you allow yourself to drift once more to the depths of dreams, your heart, much like the ancient myths, embarks on its journey, a journey that promises solace and gentle curiosity in the embrace of history and the cosmos alike. Allow yourself to float here, drifting on the edge of wakefulness and dreams, where the stories of the past carry you gently into a restful night. Let these ancient echoes be your guide, weaving their way into the tapestry of your own dreams, promising a night filled with serene contemplation and soothing slumber. As the mists of morning drift lazily upon the still waters of the Aegean Sea, you might imagine the quiet stirrings of a small village awakening under the sheltering gaze of rolling hills. The air is crisp yet inviting, carrying with it the faint sense of salt and olive oil. In this tranquil moment, let us embark on a gentle exploration of the ancient Greek understanding of their divine cosmos, where the roots of mythology began to intertwine with the everyday lives of its people. Within the heart of these myths, we find not only gods and goddesses, but also ordinary souls who believed themselves inextricably linked to the whims of their divine overseers. These stories served as explanations, comfort, and in some cases, sources of trepidation, weaving a captivating tapestry that united communities under shared narratives. Unlike the isolated reverie of modern stargazing, the Greek people saw the heavens as a canvas filled with characters whose stories reflected their own joys and tribulations. In this serene setting, imagine a young shepherd tending to his flock, his robes rustling softly in the dawn breeze. As he guides his sheep across a verdant meadow, he contemplates the majestic figure of Zeus, ruler of the skies and storms. With each rumble of distant thunder, the shepherd feels that same spark of awe and respect for the gods who control the elements upon which his livelihood depends. Here, daily life and mythology are not separate spheres, but overlapping stories, each giving form and color to the other. At the core of these beliefs lies a dance between chaos and order, personified by the birth of the Olympian gods from the tangled arms of the Titans. How comforting it must have been to envision a family tree of deities navigating disputes and alliances, much like their mortal followers. Just as families today seek peace during holiday gatherings, ancient Greeks wove narratives that mirrored their own desires for harmony in a world fraught with everyday challenges. Transitioning from tales of divine ancestry, our focus softens like the washing of the early sunlight over an ancient temple, where flickering shadows play upon sacred stones. Here we find another layer of community life, the rituals performed in quiet homage to these celestial beings. Perhaps you can envision the precise, calming movements of priests and priestesses as they carry offerings, votive figurines, or simple amphorae brimming with oil to the altar. The air thick with incense smoke would twirl in elegant pirouettes, its warmth enveloping those gathered in reverent anticipation. Life in these ancient times pulsed with such rituals, imbuing daily weariness with divine purpose. For the Greeks, offerings were not mere gifts, but tangible bridges between the human and divine. As we imagine the serene denouement of yet another sacred ceremony, it's easy to appreciate how acts of devotion could transform labor into grace, aligning individual lives with cosmological intentions, if only for a fleeting, precious moment. Move now to the legendary Oracle of Delphi, where prophecy and the mysteries of fate swirled like house dust illuminated by a beam of sunlight. In ancient Greece, this sacred place was more than a destination. It was a palpable breath of insight and intuition, wrapped in the body's warmth and earth's fragrance. Consider for a moment those who traveled great distances to consult the oracle, walking for days with only their thoughts for company, only to arrive and find peace in the conscious understanding that their journey intersected with the divine. The messages from Delphi were famously cryptic, their meaning swirling like smoke through the mind, impossible to grasp fully, yet deeply profound.
It is here in this ambiguity that we find the mystery's comfort, an acceptance of not always knowing, bathing the soul in a gentle tide of possibility. Where modern minds might seek precision and certainty, the ancient Greeks found grace in life's unpredictability, listening ever more closely to the whispers of intuition.
In the quiet shadows of the oracle sanctuary, we glimpse our shared humanity, where hopes and fears coalesce into whispers of future promises. It's a place where chaos transforms into cosmic order, leaving us just enough space to wonder about our own place in the universe. As the sun sets, casting long, tranquil shadows across the landscape, one can almost hear the sigh of relief from countless souls who have sought and found a piece of understanding at the crossroads of mythology and reality. By these flickering glimpses, drawn slowly and deliberately through the paintbrush of history, may your own nights be softened and soothed. As you consider these ancient stories and the tender threads connecting them to lives long past, remember that the chaos and cosmos of their world are deeply entwined with yours, inviting you into the deep, restful lap of time.
As the last year's dust settled on the sun-kissed lands of ancient Greece, so too did the inhabitants find solace in the tales that fashioned their understanding of the world. These stories, like soft linen sheets draped across the mind, provided comfort and a sense of connection through the ever-changing tapestry of life. Imagine, if you will, a time when stories weren't just stories, but living, breathing truths infused into the everyday moments of both chaos and calm. In this sacred space where myth met reality, people lived and breathed under the watchful eye of Mount Olympus, the divine seat of the Greek gods. Just as one might make their morning coffee ritual an unwritten prayer to the modern deities of productivity and routine, the ancient Greeks welcomed the sight of dawn with the belief that the sun rose each day by Apollo's celestial chariot. And though they feared the unpredictable chaos that might unfold, they trusted that order, like the rhythmic lapping of the sea, would soon follow. To understand how divine forces were intricately woven into each day, one could picture everyday Greek life with a gentle framework of rituals and small devotions that marked the passing of the days. Each task, whether sowing seeds in the fertile earth or weaving vibrant threads into fabric, was done with a whispered prayer or silent acknowledgement of a god or goddess who might lend their assistance or favor. This seamless blending of myth and mundane lent a sense of harmony, a soft reassurance against the unknown. Step into the agora, where the rhythmic sounds of life entwine with the scent of fresh olives and baked bread. Here, in this hub of daily activity, each person contributed to the chorus of life's steady hum. Picture a potter shaping clay. Each spin of the wheel is a small invocation to Athena, goddess of crafts, and perhaps even a nod to her brother Hephaestus, the craftsman of the gods. It is within these hands that the divine takes form, the clay transformed by skill and patience into vessels that carry the story of the earth and echo the art of creation. In the market square, the fragrance of herbs mingles in the air, a sensory reminder of Demeter's bounty. As women fill their baskets with vegetables, words are exchanged alongside goods, the gentle gossip and chatter sharing tales old and new. Even here, beneath the sun's warm gaze, one might hear whispered invocations to Hermes, protector of merchants, that their buying and selling find favor and flow without hindrance.
As we cast our gaze towards the heavens at twilight, the stars emerge, twinkling like stories yet to be told. Just as sailors relied on the constellations, so too did these celestial patterns assure the people of an order within the vast cosmos. The dance of the stars above reflected the dance of life on Earth below, a reminder from Urania, the muse of astronomy, of endless possibilities and the eternal nature of the universe. In these moments, time's fabric feels tender, like a softly woven mantle laid upon the earth. The worries and toils of the day dissolve into the warmth of the night, as Serene, goddess of the moon, guides the world into a peaceful slumber. With her gentle glow, she wraps the land in tranquility, whispering promises of renewal and dreams as soft as silk. So as you find yourself staring into the sanctuary of your own night sky, remember the echoes of ancient voices that once looked up, seeking both understanding and solace in the same constellations. Just as they found comfort in tracing the lineage of gods and heroes, you too can discover a serene resonance in the timeless expanse above, a quiet assurance that through chaos comes cosmos, and with it, calm. As we meander through the mythical landscape of ancient Greece, our focus settles on Mount Olympus, a place where Earth meets the divine in an eternal embrace. It was here, under the vast dome of the cerulean sky, that the Greek gods found their celestial home. Each god, with their distinct personality, contributed to a tapestry of myth and legend, as intricate as the constellations that silently wheeled above them. Imagine the soft whispers of olive branches brushing against each other, creating a soothing symphony in the gentle breeze. This is a place where humanity and divinity shared a common stage, where the tranquility of twilight was often punctuated by serene moments of contemplation. In these sacred spaces, ancient Greeks found solace and a sense of belonging amid their pantheon of gods. The gods residing on Mount Olympus were as diverse as the lands and seas over which they presided. Zeus, with his thundering presence and piercing gaze, ruled with a mixture of authority and benevolence. He sat on his majestic throne, watching over the world below, as gentle clouds crowned his abode, catching the last rosy light of dusk. Zeus was not just a ruler, but also the embodiment of law and order, a divine judge who maintained the delicate balance between chaos and cosmos. Beside him was Hera, the queen of the gods, embodying the sanctity of marriage and the depth of loyalty. Her presence was both commanding and refined, like the quiet strength of a mountain spring. She nurtured family bonds and oversaw the sacred rites that knit society together, even as the unpredictable tides of love and passion swirled around her. As the warm twilight deepens into the mystery of night, we find ourselves considering Athena, the goddess of wisdom, art, and warcraft, a paradox wrapped in sunlit wisdom and moonlit strategy. She exemplified foresight, emerging fully formed and armed from the brow of Zeus, a miraculous birth that underlined her intrinsic connection to intellect and strategic cunning. In her serene gaze, one could almost feel the cooling touch of reason soothing the fever of conflict. Under the watchful moons and stars, Demeter tended to the earth, nurturing crops that in turn sustained the cycle of life. Her maternal presence ensured that each spring was greeted with verdant growth, a testament to the resilience of life itself. Picture the golden fields swaying with the rhythm of an unseen lullaby, the whispers of the harvest telling stories of sustenance and continuity. Throughout the stories of these immortal beings, we uncover delicate glimpses of everyday Greek life. From the cool waters of sacred springs to the lively bustle of agora marketplaces, divine influence was evident not just in grand tales, but also in the small, quiet details of daily routines. Kindling fires at altars, offering simple gestures of gratitude, and seeking favor in quiet prayers allowed the ancients to connect with their gods, lending the divine a familiar presence within the mundane. As you let the gentle pull of sleep embrace you, imagine the ancients looking up at the same stars, yearning for insight, blessing, or comfort. Their fears were much like ours, fear of the unknown, of turmoil and disharmony. Yet their solace came from believing in a world guided by the steady hands of their deities, by their constancy and their ability to orchestrate the rhythmic dance of chaos and cosmos. Indeed, the ancient Greeks' world was one of fascinating contradictions, majesty interwoven with simplicity, mystery entwined with logic. But as you drift softly into a state of reflection, consider how amidst these paradoxical stories there remains a constant, a thread that continues to wind its way through the annals of time, guiding us toward a timeless peace found at the intersection of chaos and cosmos. Let these divine tales envelop you, soothing your mind with their gentle cadence until they blend with your dreams. And perhaps, just perhaps, the visions of these ancient deities will guide your thoughts to a place of rest where the narratives of time flow like a winding river, ever calm, ever carrying you softly onward. As the Greeks looked skyward, imagining the lives of their deities upon Mount Olympus, they created a picture almost as vivid as the one before you now. The gods were not distant or unknowable. Instead, they walked among humanity with personalities as vibrant and varied as those of any neighbor. Each deity's tale interwove with the others, forming a tapestry of lore filled with both mischief and majesty. In your mind's eye, picture Hera, queen of the gods, standing beside her husband Zeus. Hers is a regal presence, a portrait of strength, wrapped in a gown woven from the softest bites of sunlight and shadow. Hers is a voice like silk, flowing through the air, commanding respect and reverence. Beside her, Zeus might appear as both a tempest and a calm after the storm, a contradiction so clear you almost feel it. Imagine him commanding thunder with a mere flicker of thought, the sky his canvas. Despite his power, perhaps there's a twinkle in his eye, a suggestion of mischief that balances his kingly stature. Here lies a blend of authority and whimsy, much like the fatherly figure who chases away nightmares with gentle thunderclaps. In daily Greek life, stories of these gods were woven into the fabric of existence. They did not merely listen to tales of divine exploits, rather they lived them. Picture the vibrant agora, the heart of economic, political, and social life. Here, each day might begin with the scent of freshly baked bread wafting through narrow cobblestone streets, or the sound of merchants noisily displaying their wares. Picture Demeter, goddess of harvest, her energy palpable in the very produce of this market. She is there in each ripe fig, every leaf of lettuce, suggesting a divine touch in even the simplest farmer's bounty. Her presence is a gentle reminder of life's cycles, sowing, reaping, resting,
a rhythm that mirrors the gentle rise and fall of your own breath. The stories of these gods served as more than entertainment. They were instructional, subtle guides whispering lessons in wisdom and folly. They taught humanity about the potential power within us all, like cunning Hermes, whose fleet-footed adventures echoed the hustled pace of traders and messengers alike. You might picture his winged sandals gently raising him above the everyday, his eyes alight with curiosity and adventure. In this world of gods and humans, the line between divine influence and human endeavor blurred. For the Greeks, the gods were as natural as the earth they tilled, and as vital as the air they breathed. It was an existence where offerings and sacrifices formed bridges between the mortal and the divine, keeping the world and its celestial caretakers in balance. Yet it's not just the stories of gods that define them. It's also in their soft silences, those moments of introspective reflection when mythical tales give way to whispered confidences under starlit skies. This sense of wonder, this quiet longing for continuity and connection, fosters peace and harmony in a world of uncertainty.
As the night unfolds, Zeus, Hera, Hermes, and Demeter pause along with the rest of the divine cast. Their stories are told, yet untold. Their voices fall silent, but linger like an echo in time. Now place yourself on a gentle breeze wending its way through the ancient landscape. It carries with it tales, laughter, a promise of tomorrow, a future shaped by both chaos and cosmos. And in this moment of tranquility, as you attune your senses to the timeless rhythm of the past, let the gods' stories bring you a serene understanding, a gentle encouragement that in the grand narrative of life, you too have your place. Together, we stand amid these legends, gently cradled by history's embrace, our spirits at peace, as chaos becomes cosmos under the watchful eyes of the gods.
As we gently continue the tale of chaos and cosmos, we find ourselves stepping back into the serene embrace of ancient Greece. The scent of ripe olives mingles with the fragrant herbs wafting from nearby fields, a reminder of simpler times when the world turned without the constant hum of urgency. Here, the past unfurls like a silk tapestry, each thread woven with stories of gods and mortals alike, stitched together with whispers of the winds and the laughter of long-forgotten play. Imagine yourself strolling through a bustling agora at the heart of an ancient city. The aromas of freshly baked bread and roasting meats beckon, mixing playfully with the sweet scent of honey and figs. Traders' voices rise and fall in soothing cadences, bartering goods and exchanging news from distant lands. It's a marketplace like Times Square, but with clay amphoras and the soft patter of sandal-clad feet over cobblestones. Each person here is a player in a grand tapestry, living beneath the watchful gaze of gods who were as capricious and vivid as the land itself. The people, shaped by their environment, share their tales and gossip about the immortal beings who tug invisibly at the threads of their lives. They speak of Zeus, the thunderer, ruling with both benevolence and wrath from his lofty perch on Mount Olympus; of Hera, his queen, wise and nurturing, but with a vindictive streak as sharp as the edge of a smith's blade. Picture the small homes dotted along the rolling hills, each one a sanctuary of simple pleasures and quiet contemplation. These homes, built of sun-baked clay and thatched roofs, harbor the everyday rhythms of life, the crackling fires and the dusky scent of warming spices, and the laughter of children playing as dusk unfurls. It is a setting where time itself seems to stretch,
unhurried and gentle. The lives of these ancient peoples were woven with the strands of myth, yet also rooted deeply in the soil they tilled and the stars they followed. Meals were humble yet abundant, filled with the gifts of the earth, bread warm from the clay oven, olives rich in oil, cheeses crafted lovingly by hand, and the vibrant taste of wine made dark by the sun. Each mouthful was a reminder of the gods' blessings, Hermes bringing the skills of language and trade, Demeter blessing their crops, and Dionysus offering moments of joyous revelry and escape. Consider, too, the world's natural rhythms guiding their lives, the moon's silver glow pulling tides and dreams alike, the sun's warm embrace marking the passage of moments in days that stretched timeless across the canvas of their lives. These celestial bodies, believed to be the chariots of divine beings, were constant companions as people went about their daily routines, ever aware of the gods weaving fate's intricate designs overhead. This was a time when divine intervention might be found in a gentle rain shower coaxing life from the ground, or a coincidental encounter at a busy crossroad that unfolded into friendship or adventure. And through it all, there was a persistent harmony, a shared understanding that the chaos of supernatural whims and the known world's ordering must coexist. But we must not forget the places of respite they knew. Temples fragrant with incense, where echoes of ancient hymns hung in the air like ethereal veils. Here, people gathered for both worship and solace, accessing a peace both transcendent and personal. It was in these spaces, with the flickering light casting ghostly dances upon marbled walls, that one could truly sense the eternal conversation between mortals and their gods, a dialogue as old as time itself. As the soft sounds of night envelop you, encouraged by these ancient echoes, perhaps close your eyes to imagine yourself amidst such timeless serenity. Imagine allowing the gentle weight of history and myth to seep into your awareness like the faint glow of twilight. Find solace in the reminder that as humanity moves forward, there is ever an anchor in these stories of old, guides who speak in the rustle of leaves, the soft trickle of water, and the echo of melodies carved into rocks by hands long ago. And as you drift further into this world, let this whispered history cradle you. Allow yourself to be lulled by its gentle rhythm, an unbroken thread spun beneath the gaze of a watchful cosmos.
As the constellations slowly swirled above, let us drift into a time where myth and reality intertwined under a blanket of endless stars. The Greeks, with their relentless search for meaning, painted stories in the sky, stories of gods and goddesses guiding their world with mighty yet gentle hands. Each star was a whisper, a gentle reminder that the vast cosmos was not just an empty expanse, but a vibrant tapestry of adventures and lessons waiting to unfold. Imagine for a moment, lying on a bed of soft, cool grass, the warm air carrying the faint scent of olive trees and wild herbs. This is how the ancients might have felt in their quiet moments, expansive, connected, humble. Gradually, stories born of crackling fires and shadowy forests came alive under these skies, comforting and guiding people through life's inevitable mysteries and moments of chaos. One such story begins with the nurturing presence of Gaia, our great Mother Earth. In the soft whispers of the wind, you can almost hear her gentle reassurance, a promise of stability amidst the tumult of divine drama. Her connection to the earth was profound,
grounding those who called upon her, making them feel safe and linked to something larger than themselves. As you breathe in this ancient air, consider the depth of humanity's bond with the very soil they tread. This was life, simple, content, rhythmic. It was Gaia who introduced her children, the Titans, mighty in stature and bold in spirit. These colossal beings ruled long before the gods we know so well. Each Titan, with their own unique temperament and gift, painted the world with broad, sweeping strokes. Envision their awe-inspiring forms moving among lush landscapes, their shadows stretching like gentle giants over fields and mountains, creating orders amidst chaos, much like a shepherd calmly leading a flock. They stood tall, their tails sewn into the very fabric of nature, unseen yet omnipresent. Perhaps you can find peace in imagining the serene aspect of their daily lives. Tightened, statuesque women and men poring over tasks like the delicate weaving of fate's threads or the gentle rippling of ocean waves. The plays and politics within their realm would echo through eternity, but for a night, listening beneath the stars, these stories offer nothing but a lullaby. Following in their footsteps, the emergence of Olympian gods adds another chapter to this celestial narrative. Zeus, bold and regal, presides with a benevolence that belies the storms he can summon. His visage, powerful yet kind, watches over with eagle eyes, while Hera, regal and composed, offers guidance and warmth. The human fears of lightning and rebellion were tempered here by the assurance of celestial order, the kind that whispers of balance and perspective. Imagine the gentle sound of leaves rustling in the breeze as they oversee life below, a world in motion, guided by divine hands as steady as the heartbeat of time itself. Here lies a notion far removed from the fearful and chaotic, but instead something that speaks of peace and timeless assurance wrapped in celestial bodies residing in their heavenly court. Let the rhythm of your breathing guide you, as ancient Greeks might have found serenity in the simple act of storytelling. Each myth unfolding was a piece in their cosmic puzzle, one that came together when told by the soft, aged voices of elders to eager, starry-eyed youths. The soft glow from a fire, casting comforting flickers on their faces, wrapping them in its embrace as though to shield them from the uncertainty. In the tranquil spaces between stories, the importance of rest and contemplation surfaces. Just as the gods retire to their abodes beyond the clouds, so too do we find solace in choosing calm over chaos, peace over disquiet. Their myths serve as a gentle reminder that for every tempest there exists an equal moment of tranquility, soft handholds of peace found in the ordinary instances of life. In each quietly woven thread of this expansive tale, as grand and cosmic as it might seem, we discover the essence of being human. Taking these trails where ancient feet have walked, we find companions in anxiety and joy, reminders that the field of stars and the tales they hold can provide a soothing salve amidst life's noise. Rest easy, knowing these stories are eternal friends for those earnestly seeking comfort beneath star-laden skies. Here, in this tranquil corner of time, we rest with Titan's grace, God's vision, and humans' yearning hearts, an eternal dance wherein cosmos meets calm. As you drift on this journey, let the tranquil chorus of myth and history be a gentle balm for the soul, a peaceful envoy from lives so distant yet comfortingly familiar. As night deepens over the ancient landscape, the stars emerge one by one,
like soft whispers in the vast expanse of the sky. The ancient Greeks, with their wisdom and wonderment, often looked to these celestial bodies for stories, stories that would ease the burdens of their day, much like the modern rituals of unwinding with a good book or a calming meditation. They gazed upwards to find tales of gods and heroes that danced across the heavens in constellations, each twinkle a chapter, each star a character in the celestial theater. Imagine, if you will, standing on this hallowed ground where the lives of gods and mortals intertwine seamlessly. The air is cool, carrying with it the subtle scent of sea salt from distant waves breaking upon pebbled shores, mingling with the sweet fragrance of wild thyme. The landscape is alive with a gentle symphony. Cicadas sing their nightly songs, harmonizing with the rustle of olive leaves stirred by a tender breeze. In this serene setting, even the gods once sought peace and respite. They crafted stories of power, passion, and purpose that explained a chaotic world and instilled in it a sense of cosmos, a harmony of the universe. At the heart of these tales was Gaia, the earth herself, primordial and eternal. She was both the beginning and the eternal embrace, nurturing life with her rich, fertile soil. Her presence is like a familiar tapestry, weaving through each story, binding earth to sky, moon to sea. As you walk through this mythical landscape in your mind's eye, Gaia's influence is palpable. Each footstep connects you with the ancient soil, rich with history and the secrets it holds. When Greek farmers rose with the dawning sun, their hands brushed against the manifestations of Gaia's gifts: soft grains of wheat, plump olives, sweet grapes ready for pressing. They worked in harmony with these divine cycles, their efforts dictated by the seasons and the whims of the gods above.
Each day, as Apollo's chariot ushered the sun across the sky, the people found balance amidst the uncertainty of their world. Under the watchful gaze of the gods, they celebrated festivals that marked life's rhythms: birth, harvest, marriage, and death. These rituals were interwoven with offerings of fragrant honey cakes, libations of wine, and the sweet scent of burning incense. These gestures spoke to a profound understanding that life, though transient, was part of a grander cosmic play. The echoes of such celebrations ripple through time, a gentle reminder that they too sought solace in moments of communal joy and shared stories. Much like the soft glow of a candle during modern gatherings, these traditions were a luminous thread stitching together the community, illuminating life with purpose and continuity. In your mind's eye, as you picture how the sky shifts from deep blues to twilight hues, you can almost hear the gentle laughter carried from a distant festival. Cicadas provide a rhythmic harmony as the past and present meld, grounding us in a shared human experience. Those long-ago footsteps tread the same path we follow, each echo a light touch upon our hearts. In these quiet moments, there is time to contemplate what the divine myths offered to the ancient Greeks. They were, in essence, guides to navigate human emotions: love, fear, hope, and betrayal, that intertwined with their relationships and the natural world. Like a gentle balm to weary souls, these stories offered reassurance that forces far greater than themselves orchestrated the movements of life and cosmos in perfect harmony. As you linger here, cradled by the serene evening, think of the stories that shaped these ancients' lives and compare them, perhaps, gently to the complex tales streaming across today's glowing screens. They reveal our perennial need to make sense of life's mysteries, to dream, to hope,
and to understand our place within the universe. In the quiet darkness, as stars shimmer like scattered jewels upon night's fabric, welcome the comforting thought that just as the Greeks watched these stars and wove their tales, so too may they now watch over your own dreams, offering calm and rest, bringing chaos into cosmos.
As you find yourself strolling along the sun-drenched hillsides of ancient Greece, the air rich with the heady scent of wild thyme and sun-warmed earth, there's a sense of a world on the edge of mythology, where every gentle breeze might carry whispers of gods and heroes. It's a realm where the lines between the earthly and the divine blur, a seamless meld of the mortal and the mystical. Here, the stories of the gods do not merely live in dusty tomes, but dance lightly on the wind, weaving through the olive groves like timeless, unseen narrators. Beneath an expansive sky, the land exudes a quiet, enduring strength. The gnarled trunks of olive trees stand as ancient sentinels, their silvery leaves catching the soft, flickering light, casting playful shadows over the path. This path, well trodden by centuries of footsteps, leads you through the tapestry of both human history and divine legacy. With each step, there's a connection to the earth's pulse, a rhythmic lulling beat that echoes the eternal cycle of nature, a cycle that the Greeks, in their thoughtful wisdom, attributed to the whims and desires of their gods. In these tranquil surroundings, it's easy to envision the Greek gods not as distant, aloof deities, but as closely intertwined with the fabric of everyday life. Their stories, full of both grandeur and folly, reflect the complexities and contradictions of human nature. The gods, it seemed, were larger-than-life projections of the human world, each embodying traits and powers that surpassed human limitations, yet their tales often carried remarkable semblances to the everyday experiences of the mortals who worshipped them. Pause for a moment to imagine the hustle and bustle of an ancient Greek village, where life thrived at a slower pace, and time meandered like a lazy river, unhurried and deliberate. The marketplace, with its cacophony of sounds and a rich array of scents, from sizzling spices to fresh herbs and the robust aroma of baked bread, was not unlike a festive ground where the divine might well choose to walk among mere mortals. It's where stories of the gods would be spun with vibrant threads, embroidered into the fabric of each day.
Imagine the story of Demeter and Persephone, one of renewal and rebirth that echoed with the cycles of sowing and harvest, mirroring the world's eternal rhythm. As you stand under the vast Greek sky, it's easy to understand why this tale resonated so deeply with its listeners. Demeter's longing for her daughter and Persephone's dual existence between the realms above and below offered an explanation as tangible as the soil underfoot for the changing seasons, a divine narrative told through the natural world itself. In this warm glow of nostalgia, let's wander deeper into the rich tapestry of these tales, reflecting on the essence of these myths beyond their otherworldly splendor. Each story served as a guide, a social commentary, and an explanation for life's mysteries. Consider how, amidst the music of lyres and the fragrance of lemon groves, these narratives unfolded, like an intricate dance between the gods and mortals, filling evenings with wisdom clothed in metaphor. One might think about the narrative of Athena, the goddess of wisdom, and her intimate link with the city of Athens. Visualize the Parthenon, standing proud atop the Acropolis, bathed in the golden hues of twilight, its marble columns capturing silence and strength. Here was a physical testament to her protection and guidance, embodying a dedication that was both spiritual and civic. As lulling as a quiet evening under starlit skies, her story murmured of intellect, strategy, and city life enriched by her patronage. With each legend, there lies a lesson, often hidden within layers of drama and adventure, a reflection of human concerns and societal values transformed into fantastical tales. There was Zeus, whose thunderous presence exerted divine authority, a reminder of justice and order within the cosmic chaos. And Hermes, ever the divine messenger, flitting between realms like a gentle breeze, spoke of communication and the unseen ties that bind societies.
While the grandiosity of these myths can seem to vibrate with energy, let us instead focus on their quieter moments, the pauses in their tales that encourage a reflective gaze upon them and ourselves. For each divine drama carried within it a whisper of humans' balancing act with nature, urging one to find harmony amidst the ever-shifting to and fro of life. Indeed, in these stories, stitched together with the threads of dreams and imaginings, we find a canvas upon which to project our own queries about existence. These myths, both grounding and enchanting, invite us to seek meaning in the seemingly mundane, to find peace amidst the world's inherent chaos, and to let go of one's worries as the stars above surrender to the embrace of the sun's first light. Let the gentle rustle of leaves and the whispering wind be your guide as you ponder the intricate weave of fate and free will portrayed in these ancient marionettes of thought, inviting tranquility to seep into your mind, ushering you into a night of peaceful repose. Throughout the humble village, where shadow and light dance in their eternal evening ritual, you can almost hear the whispers of ancient Greeks settling into their nighttime routines. The air, still carrying a faint warmth of the day and the scent of the sea, feels soft against the skin, like a well-loved blanket. As the stars gradually take their places above, the rhythm of the village slows to a gentle lullaby, guiding lives to rest. Picture the modest clay lamps filled with olive oil flickering softly inside the whitewashed homes. This scene, so ordinary and yet so profound, unfolds nightly, a backdrop where the divine stories of gods and goddesses were once whispered from elders to children. The aroma of oregano and thyme, remnants of the evening meal, lingers in the air, weaving together with the rustic smell of tilled earth and the subtle brine of the Aegean wafting from beyond the hills. In this village, where the passage of time feels as steady as the tides, you can imagine the locals, whose lives are interwoven with the whims of the gods. Their evening meals, modest yet satisfying, prepared with grains, olives, and the catch of the day, tell tales of Poseidon's bounty. The stories of deities are as much a part of their daily diet as the food they consume. The olive oil, a gift from Athena. The grapes and wine, Dionysus' own creation. As you wander the cobblestone paths in this twilight moment, recall how in these ancient times the cosmos wasn't just an endless expanse of stars, but a divine tapestry. Each constellation was a hero, an adventure, or a mythic lesson, woven into the night sky. A celestial storybook read under the watchful eyes of the moon's silvery glow. This sky, an ever-present canvas for the imaginations and beliefs of so many before you, becomes particularly vivid in the stillness of the night. Listen as if the walls could speak. These night winds, soft and persistent, carry tales of the earth itself and its most ancient tempestuous beginnings. Gaia, the personification of earth, is central to these origins, the cradle of existence, grounding the stories of chaos and creation with her comforting, fertile presence. Meanwhile, the cozy interiors of these homes with their modest hearths echo to you the soft clatter as modest meals are cleared away and families gather. Here, the hearth is not only a source of warmth and light, but a symbol of the home preserved by Hestia, the often overlooked goddess of hearth and home, who represents the comforting, protective qualities of day-to-day life. Now open your senses to the evening chorus outside, subtle sounds of nature interwoven with the distant songs of villagers, perhaps thanking the patron gods for another peaceful day, or whispering prayers for protection through the night. Each whisper, each soft song, adds to the calm that blankets the village like an embrace, recalling the balance of chaos and order, a continual cycle from ancient stories of old. As the night deepens, imagine yourself a part of these storied rituals, sitting under the open sky at long communal tables. The evening air carries laughter, hushed conversations, and the gentle clinking of terracotta cups as they are raised to thank the gods. Such gatherings offer warmth not just from physical closeness, but a shared understanding, a kindred bond woven through shared experiences, mythology, and the ages-long relationship between humans and the divinities that they believe guide their world.
The storytellers, underlying the hum of peaceful night conversations, captivate their audience, weaving vivid tapestries of adventures, of heroes aided and hindered by the mighty gods. You might hear of the great Poseidon, whose moods could bring bounty or disaster with their shifting tides, or Athena, whose wisdom was sought by those in need of guidance and resolve. In this gentle observance of life and the histories above and below, a subtle irony lingers, gentle enough to evoke a soft smile. The gods, with their spectacular powers and epic narratives, live in tales whispered through generations, yet their influence seems as intimate and tangible as the hand of a grandmother passing the rich, satisfying olive tapenade across the rustic wooden table. As the shadows elongate and the stars come into clearer focus, allow yourself the thought that behind each twinkle, each star, there is a story waiting to enrich the imagination, a comforting constancy amidst the unpredictable nature of life. Perhaps this calming knowledge is all part of their gift, a gentle promise that come what may, the night sky will always hold a guiding story or a watchful eye for your dreams to rest beneath. And in this soothing blend of story, history, and mythology, perhaps you too find comfort in the notion that the balance of chaos and cosmos is a part of life's eternal narrative, one which you get to experience each day before you drift peacefully into the embrace of sleep. As the Greek sun dipped lazily behind the mountains of Arcadia, the world transformed under the evening veil. The sky, once stark and blue, began to shift into a tapestry of gentle purples and golds, a soothing prelude to the evenings of ancient times. Now picture this scene as a prelude, setting the stage for tales of yore, where the very ideas of chaos and cosmos gently unfolded beneath these ancient skies. Life in these distant, myth-laden eras moved to a rhythm vastly different from today's ceaseless buzz. Without the constant hum of technology, there was the slow dance of dusk turned night, a time when villagers swapped tales of gods and creatures amid the crackling firelight. Let your mind wander to these ancient evenings, where an elder, perhaps, begins to unravel the genesis of the Greek pantheon under a dome of twinkling stars. In the lore passed down like sacred whispers, the origins of the gods often intertwined with nature itself, an attempt to make sense of life's many mysteries. The sound of the wind in the olive trees was not just a mundane rustle, but a murmur of divine presence. Imagine the earth freshly tilled, its scent mixing with the day's dying warmth, held in anticipation of words that painted pictures as vivid as those twilight colors stretched across the heavens. Such tales typically began with chaos, the yawning nothingness, an infinite expanse of possibility yet to be sculpted by the touch of divine hands. It was said that from this vast, formless potential, Gaia, the earth, was born, swaddling herself in lush greens and the comforting embrace of gentle hills. In her, the Greeks found both the womb of existence and the eternal cradle of life, earth as both mother and monument beneath the endless sky. Every rock, every field was a testament to her presence. As night tightened its hold, the tales would perhaps meander to Uranus, the sky god, his vastness a canopy stretched protectively over Gaia. It was a love story told in the companionship of earth and sky, illustrating not just the birth of celestial bodies, but speaking to the quieter, tender moments shared in daily life. How every gaze skyward was not just a casual look, but a reverent nod to the ever-watchful presence of Uranus. Such stories serve to weave the mundane with the mythical, infusing nightly observations with the tapestry of divine narrative. Daily life in ancient Greece, as we imagine, was a blend of the practical and the phantasmic. Tasks ranging from foraging herbs or tending sheep were performed under the auspices of countless tiny gods and legends. These stories, shared under a sky filled with constellations that carried their own tales, provided comfort and context, breathing a continuity into the cycles of day into night. While sharing these narratives, villagers connected in a web of shared folklore, crafting a cultural tapestry where each person, from the child at her mother's knee to the eldest sage, had her place. Imagine the comforting weight of a sleeping animal at your feet, a grounding presence as the conversations drifted, anchoring the soul to the steady heartbeat of the earth, while the mind sailed among the stars. Time in these moments stretched like taffy, unhurried and sweet, drawing its own rhythm that guided not only the words spoken, but the shifts of heart and mind. In such timeless evenings, everyday concerns might slip gently from focus, blending into the more expansive contemplation of existence and the divine. Here, the origins of the gods were not distant tales, but reflections, silent, yet incorporated in every breath and step of the listener's life.
This ancient practice of story, where myths were refracted through individual lenses into something communal, served to give shape to the untidy bundle of fears and comforts experienced universally. In them were answers to both the grand questions and small anxieties, offering the mind solve and space to wander, segueing dreams into realms both mystical and mirroring of the world known. As you lay, enveloped in the soft layers of approaching night, the whisper of these myths might edge your thoughts toward tranquility. In understanding where they sprang from, an attempt to comfort, uplift, and explain, we find echoes of our own meditative practices, inviting us to look inward and discover both chaos and cosmos within. As you drift to these soothing origins, remember that each listening becomes not just an echo of the past, but
but a personal journey weaving new threads in old narratives. A soft smile so rewards these moments, letting the gentle humor and familiar warmth of ages long past relax your thoughts, coaxing them to settle with the quiet gravity of a resting stone under a canopy of stars. And with each breath, the past and present intermingle, offering calm like a slow, gentle tide washing over the complexities of the modern world, bringing you closer to that anchored place of peace within yourself. With such soothing tales and images, perhaps this night finds you softly cradling the ancient echo of peace, where each god, each myth holds within its tale a lullaby, rocking the mind into mellow respite.
The tapestry of Greek mythology is rich with tales of creation and celestial beings. Yet, as we journey deeper into this ethereal realm, we find ourselves in a place where myths and realities intertwined like whispered secrets in the night air. Imagine yourself, dear listener, sauntering through the quiet pathways of ancient Greece. The air around you carries the sweet scent of night-blooming jasmine, mingling gently with the earthy aroma of olive trees, a combination both grounding and uplifting. In this sacred space, the world unfolds slowly, like the careful unrolling of an ancient scroll. You might hear the faint whisper of the wind through the olive branches, each leaf producing a symphony of its own as they caress one another in the night's embrace. The ancient Greeks, with their profound connection to the natural world, often perceived divine presence in such serene moments. For them, the landscape was not just a backdrop to their lives, but an ever-present interlocutor in their dialogue with the divine. As your footsteps echo against the stone pathways, the ground beneath you feels cool and soothing, smoothened by countless pilgrims who have traversed these ancient roads over centuries. It's a reminder that you share this enduring path with those seekers of wisdom and divinity who came before you, each one hoping to catch a glimpse of the greater mysteries of life. What stories lay hidden in the crevices of these timeless stones? Perhaps they echo the rumblings of the gods themselves, whose origins are as intricate as the finest weavings of the fates. From the churning chaos of the cosmos came Gaia, the eternal Earth Mother, giving life and nurturing all forms of existence. She represents a force both primal and gentle, much like the fertile ground beneath your feet, ready to embrace the seed and bring forth life. Close your eyes and envision Gaia's presence as a comforting embrace. Her nurturing spirit resonates with every fragrant blossom that finds its place in her gardens. Imagine the way her hand might tenderly caress each leaf, the way a mother soothes a child's restless spirit, assuring them of safety and growth. There is solace in her presence, a quiet wisdom found in the unassuming bearing of fruit and the bursting forth of new life in spring. And yet, the world she helped bring forth was not without challenges or strife, a world of balance where the inevitability of life's cycles danced in harmony to the rhythms set forth by unseen hands. For alongside Gaia's presence walked Uranus, the sky's vast expanse, who cloaked the earth in a canopy of stars, cradling it in his embrace with the infinite possibilities of the heavens above. It was he who brought the gift of rain, casting it down to nourish the earth and renew life. But it was also from this union of earth and sky that the Titans were born. Majestic and awe-inspiring, these beings of immense power represented the primal forces of nature in their most eloquent forms. They roamed the earth like gentle giants, their footsteps resonant echoes in the heart of the mountains.
Take a moment, you might imagine, to sit beside the gentle flow of a crystalline stream, feeling the cool water rushing over your fingers, carrying with it stories of the Titan's ancient origins. There is a simplicity here, a gentle reminder that these mythic figures were born from the same elements that sustain our own lives today. A drop of water, a breath of air, a kernel of earth. In contemplating their story, allow yourself to drift further, lulled by the harmonic dance of cicadas singing to the moonlight, their chorus both soothing and eternal. These moments of quiet reflection are where one might sense the whispers of the cosmos, connecting your mind to the ancient wisdom of those who once sought to decode the mysteries of the universe through art, poetry, and song. Even as the Titans reigned, more stories unfurled. The Olympian gods, sprung from both these ancient celestial entities and new emergent forces, came to offer more complex narratives to the cultures that cherished them. Meanwhile, mythological riddles root deeper into these timeless landscapes, branches expanding under the nurturing touch of your imagination. As your journey continues, let the tales guide you to a place of peace, where stories breathe alongside you in the crisp night air, a tender reminder of the interconnectedness of all life. Each myth, each deity, each whisper of wind through the trees offers a gentle lullaby to calm the mind, the perfect transition into a restful night's slumber. So, take a deep, soothing breath and carry your newfound knowledge into the depths of your dreams, welcoming the stories of old to cradle you in their warm embrace as you drift softly into sleep's gentle caress.